Hey everybody. Welcome to a brand new thing. I've got, my video gaming thing and I've got my nonsense ridiculous thing. And now I've got this music thing. And oh, look, it's my grizzled visage. That, I don't know if you thought that maybe I looked like this, but I do. Did you imagine this guy wearing a tie-dyed shirt that literally says vintage rock band? This is my wife designed this logo, and that's awesome. She made it look. It looks like headphones. So that's awesome. Anyway, I did the tie dye. She did the logo. It's a fun thing. Anyway, so new channel, and I'm excited about this concept. I don't know where this is gonna go. So many of my channels are just like throw them out into the universe, and like one or two people are like, hey, and that's good. I like that one or two people pick up what I'm putting down. That's magic. Like people that I haven't met in the world being like, I enjoy that. So fun, good times. And it's good to be out there talking positively about things that you are passionate about. And I'm very passionate about my music. That is something that I always have been passionate about. My music gear. You might see Marantz over here. You might see Marantz over here. Kenwood and whatnot. Anyway, yeah, I love me the gear. Yamo. Akai. Some good stuff. Anyway, I'm just pleased with my own collection of things and my own collection of music. It's a good place to be in life. And my whole deal is getting things on the cheapy cheap. You would be surprised how much I paid for bits and pieces of my gear. Like, I thrift shop, I occasionally eBay. I yard sale. I go places where you can get things on the cheapy cheap. At times, if you're there at the right time, the right place, because there's no guarantee in any of that kind of nonsense. So you kind of need a broad base of things that you're into that you could, go there and at least have something that you're like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I picked up a thing, you know. Anyway, one of the things that I've been picking up a lot of lately are compact discs because all my favorite YouTubers, all of them, because I've watched like gear YouTubers and record YouTubers and CD YouTubers and like just all kinds of people who do all kinds of musical related stuff. And they are all like, oh, get into CDs right now because CDs are at a critical point, which I think they are. I think they might be. I think that really might actually be a thing. Look, I will tell you, like, you see this grizzled visage. I've been here on this planet a little while. Like, not as long as you think. I look older than I am. That is fact. But like, because this went very gray very quickly. So yeah, subtract a little bit. That's how old I am. Anyway, but like, yeah, I've seen some formats come and go. And here's the thing, there's a couple of things that need to be the case if a format is going to like get so cheap that it's basically worthless, and then all of a sudden become collectible and desirable and a cool thing to have. Yeah. And so like in my lifetime, like I purchased cassette tapes from the store, you know. My first copy of Nevermind, of Nirvana's Nevermind, the defining album of my generation. I bought it in a brick and mortar store on cassette, and it was in the little security plastic long handle thing that you had to, you know what I'm talking about if you are of a certain age. If you're of another certain age, you've never seen those. You don't know what I'm talking about. Like, you've seen cassette tapes. Like, you know what they are because like your favorite synthwave band recorded You've Got That Gunship gold cassette. And I'm jealous because I like Gunship and I think that gold cassette is awesome. But they are prohibitively expensive now. Anyway, and speaking of prohibitively expensive, getting into a format at the right time is a great thing because I got into mini disc at like exactly the right time. Because I remember seeing my friend's brother bought a mini disc player with his Pell Grant money from college. And the first time I saw it, I was, because like recordable CDs hadn't come out to the public yet. Not really, not that you could have reliably in like your house. And he was like, yeah, I'm recording CD quality mix CDs that hold way more than an actual CD, and it's tiny and it's from Japan and it's fucking amazing. And he was not wrong. He was not wrong. And so like I started collecting mini discs, and when they were not that expensive, I thought at the time, I was like, it's kind of expensive. I'm paying like like honestly, I was complaining about paying like I would buy these lots of blank recordable mini discs from like Japan and stuff. Blank ones, like haven't been used, like taking them out of the wrapper. It was buying blank mini discs for like $15 for 10 of them, I think. And I was like, it's more than $1 a piece. That's outrageous. And I had no idea. I had no idea where that market was gonna go. So yeah, now I have multiple mini disc players and multiple blank mini discs, and I even have a high mini disc player. Which what? How do you even afford those anymore? Like it's too much. It's literally too much. And so, yeah, there's a point where like you catch on at the right time. Like I'm gonna tell you something that will break your heart because it breaks my heart. My mother has always been like, you get this crap out of my house, because she's all about like keeping a clean house. And my father and I are all about like collect things, you know? And she's like, we own all these records on cassette, so we don't need them. Let's get rid of them. And she pressured my father and until we took their record collection out into the painted desert and shot it with guns. We literally used my parents' record collection for target practice. That's how worthless vinyl was, like very late 80s, early 90s. And my mom was like, get it out of here. Like there was a perfect point where you could go into like stores and they'd be like, we've got records, but you probably don't want them, so they're fucking free. Like just take them. Uh, so, yeah, there used to be a time for every format. Reel to reel tapes used to be really cheap. Like, they did, like, I mean, not really cheap, but like, comparatively, I didn't even collect reel to reel because of how prohibitively expensive it was at the time I realized that I should have been collecting it. So, are CDs going to be that next thing? I don't know. I do not know. I collect CDs because like I already had like 1,200 some odd CDs in my personal collection from just having them, because back in the day, like you could, it is the same with bookshelves. And I might do a thing with books. I've been thinking about doing a channel with books. I wrote one. You can buy it with money on Amazon. I don't know if you feel like doing that. I don't know if I feel like telling you about it right now. Anyway, regardless, hit me up if you want to know, I guess. Anyway, so thing is that like CDs might be at that point right now, but it doesn't matter to me because I already have a collection. And I have a policy. I do not get rid of my collections. I don't break them up. I don't sell them off piece by piece. I don't let go of one thing to acquire another thing. I'm basically a hoarder. Like, basically. But basically, though. And the reason why is because I live in rural Arizona. So, like, if you can get something, you fucking get it and you don't let go of it, because like in rural Arizona, it's you ain't gonna find another one. Like, for example, this Marantz 2265, um I found at Goodwill back before Goodwill had a new CEO who was like, check eBay before you put things out on the floor, which is just completely fucked us, for like all of us. Everybody knows that that is a thing that happened, because you used to be able to go to Goodwill and get a deal, and now they've got a fucking website where you have to bid on things like eBay if it has any value, because they're protecting a corporate bottom line now. And I'm like, ugh, what about the part where we gave you the shit for free and we're just like putting it in a place where we know where it is, where if any of the rest of us want it, we can come get it for a reasonable price because you got it for free. So like, I I got feelings about Goodwill because I got this Marantz 2265. I shit you not, $6.99, and it worked. And it doesn't work right now. We'll talk about that later. It needs a service, and it makes me very sad. But it is like restorable. I talked to a guy. I've got a professional on the case, so don't worry. It is fixable. Anyway, so here's the thing that I want to do. First video on this channel is I've picked up a ton of CDs lately, and there's some, like, I'm looking at all my things, there's some really good bargains that I've gotten in here, because they, like, CDs, Goodwill adjusted them. They used to be $2.49, $2.50 for a CD at Goodwill. Yeah, protecting that bottom line. I mean, that's still pretty cheap. And I did pay it for a while, but I wasn't buying them like in bulk. I would have to really want the CD, and then I would pick it up. So I'd pick up like 2, 3 at a time. I have here a stack of more than 20 CDs that I have purchased for 99 cents a piece, and one of them that I purchased for $3.49, but it's not a one CD, it is a boxed set. So we'll get to that in a moment. But let's go through these CDs. You're going to have to deal with me leaning in like, hello, friend, because I've put these in a location where that's what's going to happen. Here, actually, let me scooch them closer so that, and bump the camera so that I can, not make you wildly uncomfortable in my first video. Anyway, let's see if we can do this. So the first one up, Jayhawks. The Jayhawks. This is The Sound of Lies. Really good one. I think I already own this, but you cannot leave a Jayhawk CD just lying around unclaimed. Like, it needs a home. It needs someone to listen to it. Butterfly Boucher. This is Flutterby, which this album, I only know about this album because it was produced by Brad Jones, who is a power pop god. His album Glit Flake is like, and yeah, he's like power pop producer extraordinaire. So I don't know anything about Butterfly Boucher. Never heard anything, but it's produced by Brad Jones. And so I'm like, it's got to be good. So I got it. 99 cents. How bad could it be? Like, it's produced by Brad Jones. It's gonna be all right. Everclear. This is, Digipack. All of these CDs are in really good condition because I'll tell you something. Like, sometimes you get a digipack and it'll be like completely torn up. This one is in not bad. You can see there's some dimpling there, but I think, that may have even been there when it was new because of the way that there's a seam here. Anyway, because of the way that that's done. But anyway, in really good shape because there are some things in here that lead me to believe that it's perhaps a former record store employee who traded in their CD collection. Because there's some things that are like, if you got hole punches of that particular album, maybe you got it because you worked in a record store. Anyway, this is Songs from American Movie, Volume 1, Learning How to Smile. I really like Everclear, underrated 90s band. And some of the stuff they recorded after, kind of a little bit after their heyday, still quite good. Speaking of bands of that nature, better than Ezra, better than Ezra, Friction Baby. I don't know this particular album, but I do know me some Better Than Ezra. Deluxe is a fantastic album. That's the one with "It Was Good Living With You." Wow, that one is, you like that one. You like that one. Everybody does. Is this one as good? I don't know. We'll find out. Because I heard of that one before. I've seen it, but I never owned a copy. 99 cents, can't go wrong. Natalie Merchant live in concert. Because, of course, this may very well be the only Natalie Merchant thing that I didn't own yet. Because I love me some Natalie Merchant. She's amazing voice, amazing singer-songwriter, incredible in everything she's done with the band, on her own, doesn't matter. Natalie Merchant, always, always. And once again, Digipack, in really solidly good shape. And yes, the stupid Goodwill stickers, hairdryer. Heat a little bit, don't get too close, don't want to warp the plastic inside, but like hair dry it until the label turns color a little bit, like it'll brown just a little bit. And that, I don't know if it's browning or if it's the glue like seeping back into the sticker, but when it changes color a little bit, comes right off. Even a digipack. And this, yeah, there was a sticker on this just 20 minutes ago. Anyway, Almond Brothers, Eat a Peach. This one, I swear to God, is like, hold up. That's like a 1980s style release. And what a 1980s style CD looks like. So this might be quite an old copy. I don't know. And quite frankly, like thinking about the vintage of a copy of a CD, I never thought there would come a day. Okay, Republica, band from the 90s that was just always there that like I never really listened to at all. And I've heard some things recently and I'm like, maybe I should have been listening to them. So, who I definitely should have been listening to in the 90s, Matthew Sweet. Yes. And yeah, this is this, yeah, Altered Beast. That's right. I had trouble reading it. But yeah, Altered Beast, it's a 2-disc thing, or part 1, part 2. I guess it's not 2-disc, but it has a ton of tracks on it. That's what it is. I think it was 2 cassette is why it says part 1 and part 2. Anyway, regardless, really good album, power pop, extraordinaire. And speaking of which, I cannot believe that I found this album at a thrift store, because the Aliens, Astronomy for Dogs, this is a power pop supergroup that only released one album, and this is it, and it's really good. But like, you see an album that looks like this, and you look on the back, and it says Astral Works. This is one of the ones, by the way, that leads me to believe that perhaps a record store employee, because if you have a hole punch version of this, it means that you were in record stores buying CDs at the same time that I was, or perhaps getting them for free because you worked in a record store and you got a hole punch. Anyway, this Mamma Jamma, I was very excited to get, because I have on vinyl somewhere over there. Very rarely does any, like, the vinyl that comes into our Goodwill here is trash. Like, I have seen some people's YouTube videos of like, look at the vinyl I found at Goodwill, and it's like good stuff. Never here. Like, it's all like Lawrence Welk in awful condition, and it's like, I wouldn't want this if it was in good condition. But one day there was like all this really good jazz stuff, and it was in really good condition. So I got like Bunny Berrigan. I got, what's that one? Bill Black's Combo. Yeah. Love Bill Black's Combo. That's like, Bill Black's Combo is the music that you put on in the background when you're having like, when there are either go-go dancers going, or you're having a sophisticated 1960s slick fucking suit party with people who are hip as shit. That's the music that's playing in the background. Sounds a little like Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters, if you know what I mean. Anyway, but we're talking about the Firehouse 5 plus 2 story. The Firehouse 5 plus 2 you see on the bass drum, Good Time Jazz. They are a Dixieland style swing band that kicks a ton of ass. And 2-disc set of this for 99 cents. Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you. And may I have another? The other is Indigo Girls, because I have been told by actual lesbians that I am basically a lesbian, and that I'm an honorary lesbian. When we adopted our 4th cat, they were like, that's what you are now. So yeah, I do buy all the Indigo Girls albums that I have, and odd that I didn't have this one, because it's like quintessential. So yeah, this one is, what's it called? I always forget. Badoo. Nomads, Indians, and Saints. Yeah, that's like classic Indigo Girls. Also, other good female singery, songwritery stuff. Lucinda Williams with the cardboard slipcover that has a little bit of schmutz. When I put a little bit of Goog on because some of the residue didn't quite come off. You can't tell that I Goog on it because it still looks good. I think this will come off with some rubbing alcohol, which I will hit that with at some point. But yeah, in the nice little slipcover. And this is a deluxe 18-track reissue version. The extra, what is it? 6 tracks are, yeah, that's how math works. 6 tracks are all live versions. So like, Lucinda Williams kicks ass live. So yes, absolutely. Speaking of kicking ass live, can't believe that I did not have this, but Phil Collins, him live with his serious hits. I've seen this album around forever. I never picked up a copy. Phil Collins is the guy, like, I know that I'm supposed to be more into Peter Gabriel. Like, I know that. Like, I have all the Peter Gabriel albums on vinyl. I do. And I love them. They're great. It's amazing. He's great musician. But like, I don't know. This ain't a fucking, Eddie Van Halen, David Lee Roth kind of a situation. Like, it's fine. This, okay, let me explain. This is a House Generation compilation. I'm not much for this kind of music, but my one of my best friends of my entire life died of COVID a little more than a year ago. He was totally into this kind of music, and I believe, I may be mistaken, but I'm going to believe that he had this exact compilation, and I fucking hated it at the time. And I'll probably listen to this and be like, still trash. But like, I have it, as a memento, remembering the fallen. Anyway, David Gray, White Ladder, because of course, I think like this is one I might own 3, 4 copies of this just because when I see it, I'm like, somebody's got to give that a home, because like everybody owned this album for a while, and I think everybody is sleeping on it now. Everybody's like, yes, we've heard David Gray's White Ladder. Do I need to hear it again? The answer is yeah, you do. Have you listened to it in a while? It's great. Anyway, Rolling Stones, here's an unpopular opinion. Their albums, most of them, suck ass. Um, and there go any potential followers I may have had. No, seriously, like their first 5 albums or something, the only fucking good song was Ruby Tuesday, and that's it. That's all there was. And all the other songs were like covers of other shit, and they weren't that great. And those albums were kind of a chore to listen to, like their first 5 and stuff. Yes, in the 1970s, they had, yeah, we get it. They have some solid ones. Beggar's Banquet is a good one. I do own that one. Exile on Main Street is a good one. I own that one. But like, there's a lot of Stone songs that I love from the early era, but like, listening to those entire albums is a fucking chore. At least I think so. And I know that people are going to be like, heretic, burn him at the stake. But like, you can't help how people feel. I mean, your favorite shit is somebody else's least favorite shit. Like, for real, I'm not kidding you. I used to hang out in a record store where it's where I bought most of my vinyl, like most of it. I'm talking about the now defunct East Side Records, located in downtown Tempe, Arizona. Shout out if you're still out there, people who used to shop there, people who fucking worked there, owned the little indie record label that fucking released out of there, that I still have your 45s over here, my dude. So yeah, like, anyway, in that record store, one of the guys fucking absolutely hated, uh, he really hated Scott Walker, which like, why do you hate Scott Walker? He's amazing. I love him. But specifically the Funeral Tango, which if you know your Scott Walker, you know what I'm talking about. People can go one of 2 ways on that song. And yes, it's a Jacques Brel song. The Jacques Brel song is also fantastic. Jacques Brel's version. It also is extremely divisive. So like, one of the guys would play that to piss off the other guy. And in the record store, he'd come screaming out of the back like, what the fuck are you doing? Why do we listen to this shit? And then the other guy hated Hot Tuna, which like, what? It's Jorma Kaukonen. Who hates Hot Tuna? God damn it. And so he put on like hamburgers, and then the other guy comes screaming out of the back, "What the fuck are you playing? This is shit." They play things to bug each other. And like, meanwhile, I'm in the middle and I'm like, I love both of these things. So if you would please not fight over things that I love, that would be amazing. Yeah, you can't help how people feel about things. Anyway, regardless. So I didn't own this compilation that's an easier way to like get all the way from like Ruby Tuesday to Can't Get No Satisfaction to Paint It Black, those essential things without having to hear Ruby Tuesday 37 times. Uh, because, yeah. Anyway, Faith No More. Yeah, that's right. Because Faith No More. Because I love Faith No More. Because why wouldn't you? Yeah. Anyway, and that's such a good album, or that's such a good cover too. I love that cover art, the high contrast, the block print style. Anyway, this one I'm excited about because I don't know this band at all. Poison 13. It's also a hole punch, but you see that? It's on Sub Pop. Sub Pop is like great for all the things, whatever era, doesn't matter. Grunge, they had punkish sort of things for a while. This is 1993, 94. Yeah, 94, Sub Pop. So it's probably, heavy, but like it doesn't matter if it's on Sub Pop. I will probably enjoy it. Like there are just certain labels that if it's on there, I'm probably gonna enjoy it. So that's one of them. Um, Muddy and the Wolf. Yeah, I saw this and I was like, yes, please. Chess Blues compilation, or yeah, Chess Blues album. Yeah, compilation, right? I didn't even look if it was like, I don't know this album particularly. It might be an album of them together. It might be a compilation. I don't know. I haven't listened to it. I've listened to these two gentlemen individually, and I love their stuff. And sorry if I'm not an expert on everything that I pick up, because I'm not. Some things I pick up because I want to know more about it. This, I don't know anything about this, but I had to buy it because front cover, band named Flame. Back cover, they look like this. Long hairs with a hole drilled in them, comes from the same collection of the same guy who already we know owns a lot of things that I like. So why would I not buy it? I like this dude's taste. Speaking of which, haha, early Soundgarden single. Um, do. Megadeth single. Haha. Yeah. Symphony of Destruction, the song that everybody knew, even if you were totally not into metal back in the day. Pearl Jam, Lost Dogs. This is like, there's a lot of Pearl Jam that I do not particularly know because I stopped. I'm gonna be honest with you. I stopped caring about Pearl Jam after Vitology, but I am assured that they're good things. So I'm sorry, everybody's like, there's only so much time and so much music, and so some bands you follow forever, and other bands you're on for a while, you get off for a while. Maybe you get back on later. Maybe I'll realize I've been a doofus and should have been listening the whole time. And if I was, I'll say I was, and that I'm sorry. If this is not the best of the pro dying over here, and that's how you know I don't edit. Um, it's true, I'm very lazy. Uh, but yeah, Pearl Jam's Lost Dogs. Um, Excited to find out. This one I was very excited to see. This is a little split. This is Motion City Soundtrack, a band that I love. Uh, yeah, I totally, in addition to being into actual punk, where like, yes, I was very picky about like, if I go to this punk show, will the gutter punks be there? Because if the gutter punks are there, the like homeless kids who are also punk, who like God knows how they get into the show. But like if a serious punk band comes to town, you know, if like the Exploited are playing or something, like they are there. They are there for that. The Casualties, you know, things like this. And so yeah, I was very much like that, but also secretly that I wouldn't tell those guys. I also enjoyed pop punk, even though it was like Forbidden Fruits. We were supposed to hate it. This is for like 12-year-olds with purple mohawks that they got at Hot Topic or whatever. Anyway, but Matchbook Romance, Motion City soundtrack, yeah, Split, fun times. This last one. Well, this is the last of just the single CDs, and then I got a box set. This one is kind of unnecessary given how much of his stuff that I have, but the best of George Harrison. George Harrison is the best Beatle. It's true. This is fact. This is fact about the world that you must come to terms with, my friend. George is best Beatle. These are things you need to know. And so I already have every single song on there in other forms and also in deluxe editions with like alternate takes and like all the things. But yeah, sometimes you see a CD and you're like, I don't have this particular compilation, even though I have all the things on it, but maybe I just want to sit down and listen to just the hits, you know? And so now I have it, and that I like it. I like that I have it. Because these are, you know, like, why do we buy these things? Why do we still collect them? Because Marie Kondo would find my entire way of life, like wildly unnecessary. She'd be like, you got too much shit. She'd start talking English. For some, no more interpreters. She'd be, and you got too much shit. We find out that she didn't need a translator all along. I have never seen Marie Kondo ever, so maybe what I'm saying is wildly inappropriate. I think she has an interpreter. Pretty sure. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Anyway, regardless, but she would not be a fan of the way that I just collect things. But I collect things that are of value, and yes, they're of monetary value as well. And I'm not going to pretend that I don't like that things that I have are of monetary value, because what that means is not the monetary value that I care about, it's the value that other people place on it, which means that when someone comes over to your house and sees your collection, they're going to be like, wow, that's cool. Because when I have gone over to people's houses and they've had collections that I've seen that I have been really impressed by, they've been like, that was me. I did that. I rarely get any credit for it. My wife fucking hates it, but there it is, my collection. Like, yeah, nah, that's what we all need. We all want to a certain extent. And then just the owning it, having it, being able to touch it, being able to put it into a disc tray and play it and hear it on nice speakers that I'm perfectly happy with. Oh, what a treat when you're like perfectly happy with your own speaker system. Like, ooh, like for real. It took me years. It took me years to be perfectly happy with my speakers, and I'm now there, and good is a good place to be because I got them cheap. I got them all cheap. Um, it's true. You wait long enough, those deals come along, and then you're a happy person, and you didn't spend too much. Anyway, last thing that I have, boom. We're getting into the box set. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers playback. This thing is in great condition. It has all of the discs, which, I wouldn't buy it if it didn't, because I get pissed if something is missing. Booklet. in really, really good condition. You know, pictures, lyrics, good stuff. And then the actual discs are digipacked. They're they don't have a plastic spindle in the middle. It's kind of like a mini record album cover. You pull it out, it's got a paper slip cover like a record, and you pull it out, and it looks like a reel to reel, which is a complete mismatching of mediums. But you know what? I forgive it because it's cool and because it's Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, who are just they're Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers are, well, Tom Petty himself, especially, because this also has stuff from Tom Petty's solo stuff. It has stuff from Mudcrutch. So yeah, this is really more than it says Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers on the cover, but it's really a Tom Petty collection. You know, it's called Playback. Each one of these covers is different. There are 6 discs. This one is the Big Jangle. That's right. That's what it's called. Which, like, if you know Tom Petty, he loved the jangly guitars of the Byrds, which meant he went out and got himself a Rickenbacker. Well, he wanted a Rickenbacker guitar for Christmas. We know that from his Christmas song that we all know and love. Anyway, yeah, what a delight it was to have Tom Petty around making great music for that long. I don't think we all appreciated him enough in his day, even though we did appreciate him. I mean, for a guy that was making it big in the 70s to still be cranking out hits when I was in high school, and then to be missed that much when I'm in my 40s, like, that's a dude with a career. Because you know who else meets that description? Guys like David Bowie, you know, like some of the best of all time, some of those whose names you almost have to whisper because of the impact they had on music. And Tom Petty is that kind of a guy. He's that stature, he's that level. And I got a 6-disc box set of his that has, you know, stuff spanning all throughout his career, some hits, some rarities, like really nice box set for like $3.49. And it's complete and it's in great shape. And I got it at Goodwill. So yeah, it's awesome. So if you're the sort of person, sorry that my thing goes on, now you know that I talk too much. Haha. But fact is that is a great time to be collecting CDs. Who cares if the value goes up? I don't care. I do not care if these are worth more money. The part that my ears perked up for was these are really cheap right now. And indeed they are. So if you have a local Goodwill that you can go to, local thrift store, go. Because you don't know who just cashed in their entire CD collection. That's prime time for people who pick stuff up. That's what it is, and that's where we are. So, like, you want to get those good albums, and man, there is nothing like finding it in the wild. If I would have walked into a record store and had the entire pick of the place, and yeah, I don't know that this is exactly what I would have come home with. I don't know that that's true, but because I was picking from what was there, and there were a bunch of them, like there was a Tool album, the disc wasn't in it, and I was like, come on. You know, and there were, you know, other things that were too scratched and damaged, and I was like, well, I can't take this home, not the way it is, and you just put it back on the shelf, and you're like, If only your owner had taken better care of you. That's the way it goes. But it's a nice time to be thrifting, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah. Anyway, get out there, find you something good, cause like that Marantz was thrifted, that Kenwood was thrifted, that Marantz I bought at a record store. That Yamo DVD player that I use for playing CDs because it's a Yamo and it's, a Yamo. They make good audio stuff. So that's my CD transport. Akai cassette deck. Yeah. This little thing that's what's it called? IEMA. That people are crazy about, a little tube amplifier made out of China, a little Fluence turntable. No, the Fluence I had to buy separately. I had to buy separately. Haha, getting into my gear now. No, all of this things, everything silver face behind me was thrifted. All of it. All of it. And there's some cool stuff back there you can't even see. Oh my God. I've got a Discman. Like, it's too cool. If you're the sort of person who would be impressed by a really cool Discman, I've got the best one. So look forward to that in a future episode, probably. CDs are awesome. I still collect them. If you still collect them, cool. Let me know about it. Like, I'm not that guy who's like, comment because I want to become YouTube famous. Like, I just like talking about music. So if you're a guy who finds this video on YouTube, cool. Hope you liked the video. Hope you didn't mind me droning on. And if you like some of the stuff that I like, tell me about it and talk about it. I like talking music. So anyway, people, that will do it for the inaugural episode of this new channel that I have, that I'm pretty sure I will remember the name of at some point. I didn't even remember the name of the channel. And I'm not editing this out. That's how you know I'm real. Keeping it real. Anyway, 47 minutes, that's too long for anybody. All right, people. I will see you in the next times. Keep collecting and have a great one. Bye-bye now.